welcome to or welcome back to Founders in Jeans. I'm your host, Emily Jean. And before we get into the episode, I just want to say a huge thank you so much for listening to my podcast. It means the world to me. I also wanted to say that if you enjoy the show, feel free to leave a review on Spotify or Apple, wherever you're listening to this, and also to follow us. You can follow us on Spotify, of course. You can follow us on Instagram at Founders in Jeans. You can also find me on Instagram at emily.jeans, or you can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with people on there, and I have a lot of good conversations from listeners. Also, you can always leave a bad review for us. I'm totally fine with that. And in fact, I think that's exciting. I would love to know what we can do to improve. So you can also leave comments below and let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. I actually do read every single one. We also have a newsletter that comes out once a week, so you can get all the updates from us. We also put in some weekly business and marketing updates in there, as well as some personal notes from me. You can subscribe to that on my LinkedIn, also through the Instagram and in the show notes below. Anyways, that is all from me. I'm so excited for you to listen to this episode. I hope it's a good one, and I'll chat to you soon. Meg Spencer of the Anti-Influencer Method. Welcome to Founders in Jeans. I am so excited to chat to you today. For people who have not heard of you yet, can you give a little bit of a background about yourself?
Yes, and thanks for having me. So my name is Megan. I go by Meg the Creator. I'm a mom of 2 girls, and I'm just an introverted person who came from a very small town in Virginia. I grew up in a middle-income household, and I look back on my journey. I worked in local government for many years. That was like my big girl job. But when I started, I like job hopped a lot. And I look back and, it was seen as like a negative thing, but I think it was like my entrepreneur spirit like coming out. And so I actually quit my job, my local government job in 2020. We all know what was going on in 2020. And I became a social media manager. And so I did that full time for 3 years. I had like a mini agency and everything. And so I was doing freelancing and I loved it, but I did burn myself out because I was doing a ton of client work. And in 2023, I started doing UGC and Amazon reviews, and then I started doing TikTok shop. And those are kind of like the anti-influencer side hustles that I teach about. And then in 2024, I started posting about my journey on TikTok, and people were very interested about it. And then I built the Anti-Influencer Method, which now helps over 2,000 introverts make money online through various side hustles without having to be famous or grow followers.
I have so many questions for you to begin with. First of all, I think that this is still a fairly untapped market. It's interesting because I have a friend that's a UGC creator, and she says, no, I feel like there are so many UGC creators now. But I think that's just because she exists in that space.
Yeah.
So she's exposed to a lot. But I've also seen so much discourse about like the faceless influencer and that sort of thing. Excited to chat to you because I think there's so much mystery around these kind of business models as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to kind of go all the way back to the beginning. Before everything you do now, like what did life look like for you before this entrepreneur journey started?
Yeah, so I was broke, living paycheck to paycheck. I worked in local government. I had a lot of card debt. I wanted to work from home, but I didn't know like what to do. And I felt very creative. And that's why I job hopped a lot because I wanted to make more money and I wanted to do something new like every other year. But I just wasn't, I was not fulfilled at all in my like work life before all this.
Yeah. Did you have something in your government job before you kind of moved into this more creative element that you're like, I'm not expressing myself in this way, or I see a market here, or what was the process behind that? Because it's a fairly big leap.
Yeah. So when I was in my government job, I did a lot of like public speaking, which I didn't like. And it's not that I saw like a market for what I was doing, like when I left my job. It was just I wanted to like completely try something new. So when I picked my job in 2020, the main goal of it was to work from home because I was pregnant and I already had a daughter. So I had a 5-year-old daughter and I was pregnant. And so I wanted to work from home, but I just didn't know. And virtual assistant was like the first thing that popped up. And so I was like, I could take my skills that I already have and apply them. I didn't realize it was going to be like as big as it was, like how much money I could actually make. But it did get me working from home like fairly quickly. Like shortly, 3 months after I figured it out, I like left my job.
That's amazing. Also, I love the name of your business because it's so clear and straight to the point, especially given anti-influencer. It's like, why do you think so many people are tired of the kind of influencer or nothing mindset today?
I think people are tired of influencer marketing in general because it's so like fake. I think it comes across fake in some ways. I don't think every influencer is fake. And I don't dislike influencers. I watch influencers and I'm influenced by them. But like, I think people get burnt out by it, just like the constant selling and the constant like just need to make money by being an affiliate for something. And then I think as far as like making money online, why people are the influencer or nothing, like grow followers or nothing. I think it leaves out people that feel like they have to be famous or they have to have followers to make money online because that's what a lot of people tell them. Like, I mean, I see it everywhere. You either have to have 10,000 followers, 20,000, 30,000, like all these numbers. And the people that are shy, introverted kind of feel like, well, if that's all there is, like that's not going to work for me in my situation.
I think the concept of making money online is still, I wouldn't say foreign to a lot of people, but it seems untrustworthy to an extent.
hmm
Why do you think that is? I mean, is that just because of like scam culture or
I think being skeptical about like making money online is fine and like doing your own research. But I think because MLMs put in a bad taste in people's mouths or pyramid schemes in general, I think MLMs are fine as they are, like if you know what you're getting into. But I think it's when like the pyramid scheme stuff starts coming in. And then in 2023, the emergence of like the MRR, like the master resale rights, where you can buy a course to sell a course, which kind of turned the course space into that kind of like weird, icky feeling. So I actually battle with that a lot with selling my course is because, I'm kind of enmeshed into that like digital marketing space. So a lot of people will look at my program and be like, oh, well, you're just another reseller. But it's like, I don't even teach that at all. You don't have like this is learned skills to make money without
right?
followers. So I think people have like that everything is the same, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing that people get wrong about making money online?
I think the biggest thing people get wrong with making money online is they need followers. They think they need followers, or they think it's going to take so like I don't want to tell people that it's going to happen overnight because that's never going to happen. And if it does happen, that's the exception. But I think they think it takes a really long time. And with some of the side hustles I talk about, like UGC, especially, like you could start making money within 30 days or less, especially if you
Right.
come in, follow the method and start applying the principles, like you can make money fairly quickly. So I think the misconceptions are people think they need followers, people think everything is a scam, and people think it's going to take a year or longer.
Do you have kind of one simple thing? Sorry. Do you have kind of one simple thing that someone can do today to move toward extra income?
Yes. So it's under the UGC umbrella, which UGC is where you just make content for brands. They pay you for the content, not for your followers. And the simple way to start that would be to go on apps. There's certain apps you can download on your phone. They're free. Billo, Billo, or Join Brands. You can literally go, anyone of any age can go on there and just start making content for brands. And some of them are even like photo content. So you could just take pictures of the item that they send to you and you can get paid for it. Like one of my first UGC gigs was 5 photos for $50. And it took me like 10 seconds to do it. So I
I
was
love
like, I
that.
made $50 in 10 seconds. When you say it like
Right.
that, it makes it sound like more attainable. So that's probably the quickest way because then you can use all that content to build up your portfolio, which could lead
Mhm.
you to landing like the higher paying gigs.
Right. Why do you think that introverts often make great creators?
I love this question. So I think that most introverts are very over analytical and over analyze everything because we are very quiet, keep to ourselves, and aren't really influenced by like a lot of people because we keep to ourselves. So as a creator, that is like one of the best attributes of a creator, even an influencer, is researching trends, over analyzing everything that there is, and understanding your brand or your audience in general and understanding it better. Because if you can create content that your audience or the brand you're working for audience wants to, take in, then you can create better content, which makes them more money, which makes you more money.
Right. When you're guiding people, I guess, on how to choose the right side hustle, especially from like a beginner friendly level, how much of that guidance is based off of personality, comfort level? Like, where are you directing different people to, and how are you doing that?
Yeah, so I actually have a quiz. It's a quiz that they can take and it's intuitive based on their personality, how much time they have and their interest. So they take the quiz as soon as they come in and it will tell them exactly which path to take. So personality is a huge driver of that because if you're super, super shy, like super introverted, don't want to show your face, it's not that I wouldn't recommend UGC, but I wouldn't recommend it as a starting point. I would recommend Amazon because you can do everything faceless and still make good money and get experience and confidence that maybe you would want to go into UGC. So I always tell people there's a path for everyone. It doesn't matter how shy, how private, how introverted you are, because I've noticed through this journey that everyone is different. Like I have social anxiety, but like other people truly are so private, like don't want to show their face, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. I was okay with some of those things. So
Right.
it is highly based on personality and interests.
Right. Is there a side hustle you can think of that you're like, people should stop wasting time on this?
I don't know if it's considered a side hustle. I guess it kind of is considered a side hustle because a lot of people are doing it now, where it's like they're just dying to get to 10K followers on TikTok because they want to get paid for views. I'm like, y'all, it's pennies. You have to be getting millions of views a month for that to pay
Right.
your bills. Like I think that will can like accentuate or is like a nice and side hustle. Like if you are already posting
Uh-huh.
on TikTok or if you're posting for a brand or whatever and you get to 10K followers, like yeah, that's great to add on, but I would never make that like the goal because
Right.
it doesn't pay that well. Like
Right.
it doesn't pay that well. So I tell people to just not worry about that. The followers may come later. And then when it comes, it's like a surprise.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Amazon a little bit because I kind of skipped over it, but I think a lot of people are going to have questions about it. So, what makes the Amazon on-site commissions model so powerful?
So the Amazon on-site commissions model is so powerful because it's part of the influencer program, like the Amazon influencer program, but you don't post any of those videos to social media. You post them on Amazon and then Amazon will place them on the product page. So Amazon basically does all the marketing for you. And so when someone watches the video and buys the product, you get the commission as the Amazon influencer. And it's actually where I started like my content journey. I started there first, then I did UGC. So it gave me the confidence to work with brands after I had been working off of social media for like months at that point. So it's really good for anyone to get started. And you can really make a lot of good money with it if you do like the product research, right? Like there's people that are in my community that make 4K a month with just that side hustle.
Wow. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So, I had no idea about that. And I honestly think, same with UGC, I don't know a lot about these online income side hustles. Why do you think that is? Like, why are they still kind of these untapped platforms, I guess?
I think for Amazon specifically, it makes it like Amazon themselves makes it so hard to like get information about these programs. So it's up to like people like myself and so many other people that do the program to then talk about it and educate others. But then I think people don't believe that it's true. So they think you're like over promising something, which I just like I just said, that person making 4K has been doing it for 2 years. They understand the ins and outs and everything. And so like as a beginner, it's totally normal to make 200 to 500 a month as a beginner, but that's literally life-changing money to some people who have zero
Right,
extra dollars a month. So I think
right,
it's for one, Amazon doesn't share a lot of information. Now for UGC, I think people still to this day think that is influencer marketing. Like I can't even tell you the amount of people I talk to every day that still are like, I don't need followers, right? I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that, right? And it's things that I say over and over and over again, but it's almost as if like it doesn't register or it's too good to be true, right? Like how can you make money online without needing an audience? So that's what I think.
What are the first steps someone should take if they want to start earning this month, whether that's Amazon or UGC, like more general steps they could take, I guess?
I would tell everyone to start with UGC. I used to tell people to start with Amazon, but the reason why I switched that was because it takes 60 days for you to get paid with Amazon, which is a little longer to wait. And, you can get discouraged in 60 days to not want to continue. With Amazon, I notice a lot more people get paid quicker. And so they'll continue on. Kind of like I was saying before, I think the best way to get started with UGC is to start on an app or to go to like Upwork or something like that and get your experience off of social media first. That way you have that experience, you build your confidence, and then you can build a portfolio in Canva. Literally just look up a Canva UGC creator template, pop your experience in there, and then you can then use that to pitch brands. And I tell people to start with brands that they like, that they actually want to work with. And if it's a big brand, like if you're like, I want to work with Pepsi, obviously you're not going to get to work with Pepsi right away. You can literally go on Google or ChatGPT and say like, find comparable brands to Pepsi that are smaller. And that way you can then pitch, smaller soda brands or whatever your interests are. Those are just really simple ways to get started. Like anyone can get started doing that and build an actual portfolio that's built with like actual reviews from brands. Even if they're small brands, it doesn't matter because everyone has to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the most common beginner mistakes that you see that people should avoid?
I see this constantly. People think they need to build a portfolio before they can work with anyone. They spend before they've even created one video or taken one photo, they think they have to have that portfolio done before they can even go on these apps or before they can go on Upwork. And I'm like, don't do that. Like, get paid first. You don't need all that. So they spend time in Canva or doing whatever it is they're doing, trying to put together a portfolio that's, for one, missing information. And then they start pitching brands immediately, and then they're not hearing back. And then they're discouraged, and then they stop. So I tell people, don't worry about the portfolio first. Like, get the experience, build a portfolio with actual results and actual content, then move into doing that later.
Right. Makes sense. So obviously, I want to get kind of more into the business you've built and how you've been able to build that. I know that you've been building your business while raising your daughters and keeping your peace, which is a huge feat within itself. So talk to me a little bit about what boundaries matter most to you, and how have you been able to remain consistent with your entrepreneurship while you're raising your daughters?
Yes. So it's not always great because sometimes I do burn out and sometimes I don't stick to my schedule. But some boundaries I do have. Some are like self-care. So like at the end of every day, I do take like a bath with magnesium salts. I think for me, that's just a way that I can like decompress because especially on days when they don't have school and they're here while I'm trying to work and my husband is at work, is chaotic. It's very chaotic. But I have tried, especially when they're at school, like when they get home from school, I try not to have any calls scheduled because I just noticed that added to my stress. Like if I'm in here trying to have a call, they're out there destroying the house. It's not well. So I notice if I just schedule calls while they're at school, like it keeps me more consistent to where I can just do things while they're gone. And I do have to have a daily schedule of things that I like do and make it realistic. Like it's not going to be like my whole business to-do list every day. Like I have a huge list of things I want to do, as we all do, but like I will pick like 3 to 5 things based on like importance and urgency and put those on my list to where I can actually do those things and feel accomplished, rather than like have a list of 20 things. One might got done and then I feel lousy because I didn't do anything,
Right. You've also been able to grow a super strong community and a loyal community without kind of going about chasing trends. How have you been able to build trust online when you're not trying to be everywhere? Like, what's been your secret to that?
Yes, Facebook group. I did not think that was going to be my saving grace, but I focused on my Facebook group a lot in the beginning. It's almost at like 20K members now. And I think what I focused on in the beginning, and I still focus on it now, is just constantly building trust and constantly being relatable. So like I never stop sharing like things that may be uncomfortable or transparent things that like happen, not only in my business, in my life, but just like in general. And I think people really relate to that. So they trust me and then they want to work with me and then they tell their friends and then the group just continues growing. And there's so many people in that group that answer questions for me. Like somebody will ask a question, they'll answer it, and it's just like always growing and always thriving. And I think it instead of focusing on like going viral on TikTok, I focused on this group where I was like, hey, I'm just going to continue pouring into people, answering. If they have a question, I answer it, detailed answers and things like that. So it's been great. I did not know it would have blown up kind of like it did. It's been fun.
I love that too, because you just summed up what I think is like the essence of building a successful community. I've heard before, at least, that a community isn't defined by you as the influencer or the creator speaking to the community, but it's your community speaking to the community about you.
Very true.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, so I'd love to do some rapid fires with you before we wrap up.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, first one. What is a UGC creator trend that you love or that you secretly want to cancel?
I love the rage bait creator trends. It's my favorite. It works. I love it.
I love that. That's like a very good answer. What is one thing most people don't know about you?
I had surgery on my abdomen day one of life. I never talk about it.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. Reveal, abdomen surgery reveal in this podcast episode. Do you have a favorite student success story?
Yes. My student, Bree, she's a single mom and she homeschools and we work together. She joined my course in like February or March, and then we did coaching together. And not only 2 months or 3 months into coaching, she was making way more than I was making as a UGC creator. And I was like, I love this. And she just flourished, and like all the odds were stacked against her. She had a lot of crazy life things going on, but like she just persevered, and now she's like a campaign manager, a creator manager. Like she has a whole career in this.
Yeah. Good. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
My final question that I love to ask everybody, all my founders, do you have a book or resource or course or podcast or anything like that you would recommend to budding entrepreneurs?
Yes, there's a book. I actually just read it. It's called The Mountain Is You. And it's all about like avoiding self-sabotage. And I need to reread it. It's pretty much just like tactics and things to help you not self-sabotage, which I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs do. I know I do it. And I think it helped me look at like things in my business and in my life differently, in more of like a positive light, and just kind of like have a more positive outlook on things. Everyone should read that. I don't know the author, but it's called The Mountain Is You.
Okay, The Mountain Is You. That's great. I've not heard that recommendation yet, so I love that.
It's great.
Meg, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited I got to chat to you. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, so I'm megthecreator.com. And then on TikTok, I'm at megthecreator _. And then on Instagram, I'm at megthecreator _.
Okay, perfect. Easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been such a good chat. I'm so excited for people to hear this.
Thank you for having me.